Alright, I'm starting this tutorial again. The last tutorial, I know many of you saw it. For some reason, the audio stopped working in a couple seconds into the video, but I'm going to make it again. I'm going to make it with, hopefully this will work when I upload to YouTube. The reason why I wanted to make this again is because I explained something about the basic math operation order, and I want you to hear it. Alright, so it's very important that you know that. So I'm remaking this again. So um, let me just make a couple variables here. All right, and you probably saw this in the last video, but I want to explain something to you that is very important, and it's the operation order. All right, if you know basic math, this is going to be very simple for you, and that's all I want to explain here, right? So let me just, I like writing code. Sometimes I don't, I get lazy, but I like writing, so that's why I don't mind writing this whole thing again. So let's say, for example, and I'm glad for that comment that this person gave me on the last video. I'm glad that you gave me a feedback on the intro. That you mind, you like it like this better without the intro? Please make a comment, and I will keep making them without the intro. All right. So, anyways, let's say for example you have a number here, 1 plus 2. All right, times, let's say, a variable. Let's say times this, right? So how do we, right now, if I echo this on the screen on the browser, let's just save it right now, and I refresh it, and I echo, I get 41. And now, why in the world would I get 41 if 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 times 20 is 60? Why don't I get 60? Well, like I said before, this follows the same order of operation as the basic math that you learn in school. Hopefully you learned that. All right, multiplication goes first, and then addition goes next, or division, whatever it's, in that order, in that rank of order. So if we want this, let's say for example that we want to actually, calculate this first. Calculate. Let's calculate this, right? And then I want to multiply, right? So I go here, and now you see it changed to 60 now, because what I'm doing is I'm actually doing this first, and the way I do that is by enclosing this in parentheses. So I would say 1 plus 2 is 3, and then after I get this result, then I multiply with this. So let's do something a little bit bigger than that. All right, so let's say I want to enclose this whole thing in parentheses, in another parenthesis. Now I want to calculate this whole thing after I finish with this. In this, I want to calculate something else. So let's say I want to multiply this again with an asterisk, and that's how we multiply in programming, uh, with variable 2, right? I always keep writing these variables like in JavaScript. I'm so used to it. Times 2 times this variable, and then I want to do something else. I want to divide this minus 5. All right. So I want to enclose this whole thing actually in another parenthesis right here. See that? So I'm enclosing, let me just, right here, this is fine. Yeah. So I'm enclosing this whole thing. Let me just take this parenthesis out of here. So I want to finish with this. Let me just do it like this. It's fine. It's crazy, but I know. Refresh, and I get an arrow. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. So let's do it like this. All right. So I want to do this whole thing here first, and then when I'm finished with that, I'm gonna have the result of this. I'm gonna multiply times this variable, and when I'm done with this whole parenthesis, right, then I want to multiply the result. I want to divide the result by 20 minus 5. All right, and then we get 77. All right, just to let you know, once we enclose everything in parentheses that we want first, and then we continue with the ones that are 9 parentheses. So now let me show you the square root, and you probably saw this in the last video. If you did, just ignore this and go to the next video. But there are other functions below that you probably did not get because I didn't have the sound on the last video that I made. SQRT is the name of the function, and we're getting a square root of 100. and it's 10. Now let's put some BR tags in here since we want a new line on that our HTML document. Okay, so let me just separate this a little bit. Let's do the exponent, which I did in the other video, and this I have to explain to you. Probably this was one of the ones that you did not get because um, I didn't have a sound. I didn't have any kind of sound in the last video. So we want to take the 4 to the 10th power, and that's what you need to hear. And 4 to the 10th power is 104,000. Actually, no, more than that. All right, it's we are in the millions. There we go. 1,048,576. Right. Anyways, so let's put another BR tag here, and let's do the random. Let's say I want to find out the random number of something. So minimum, hopefully I'm writing this right, correct, and maximum. All right, let's do some PHP tagging here, and let's use that rand, R-A-N-D, and I want to get a random number from 1 to 100. There you go. And let's do it right now. Let's just refresh it here, and if I keep refreshing, I keep getting random numbers, as you can see here, changing from 1 to 100. That's pretty useful when you build in programs. All right, and let's do the last one. It's called a modulo, and this is something that you will probably never use, but I just need to show it to you anyways. And we call this with the fmod function, and we say, and this works by dividing the number, let's say 30 divided by 7, right? And the remainder, that's what it would give me. So I would get a 2, right? Because 30 divided by 7, we can't do that, right? Let's say 7 times 4 is 28, and then we got 2 more to get to 30. So that's what it's doing. So it's dividing that to the closest one, and then it's getting that remainder and outputting it right here. All right, so that's all I wanted to show you in this video, and I had to make it again, like I said, because I didn't have a sound on the other one, and I will probably raise the other one. And I'm glad somebody gave me the feedback about the intro and gave me the feedback about the sound, that this is what it's all about. Thank you for the support again. If you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you do it now. If you have not favorited this video, please do so. It helps me out. It helps me out a lot. All right, so anyway, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. And guys, sorry about that. All right, bye.